As you may know, this year is the year of joy, is the year of love in action. So it is a bigger question of what does it mean to love?
That's so true. Come on.
And I'm very encouraged. A while ago we were having the Bible discussion on HKU, and the main discussion was again how do you learn not to fail? How do you learn to be successful in everything? It's to love. And it's it's very revealing as well because every single culture has their own perspective on what it means to love. We were talking about it, it's like, okay, for the Filipinos, okay, karaoke. In the Filipino, it's karaoke. Which is weird. It's karaoke with all your friends, with your barkada, for like 12 midnight, all the way to 3 or 4 a.m. in the middle of the town while everyone is sleeping. And so you're sleeping and you go, and you just hear Michael Jackson start singing. You're like, what's going on? For them, that's love. For Filipino families, it's very, very big for us. When you guys go to the conference, you'll see those big jeepneys. Essentially, not big, it's regular. So imagine a green minibus, but it can stop anywhere it wants, running for like 10 hours at a time. And then the driver is essentially an older man, usually for 50, 60 years old, and they continue to drive. They come home, they say nothing, they go to the bedside of the son, and they just smile. And that's it. And for most children, that's what love is. But for the Chinese, okay, what does love look like in the Chinese culture? Food, hot pot. You heard it now. You heard it here. Yes, that for me, it's my grandparents peeling oranges and giving it to me. Or my mom would I don't know how to eat fish, like the steamed fish with bones. I don't know how to do that. But then my mom would cut a bit and then put it on my bowl. Small gestures like that. How you love someone is directly related to who you know. Because most of us, we weren't born to learn how to love. We just simply imitate from our parents, from our teachers, from our culture, from everything. So all our lives is just a reflection of other people's love. The love from your teacher, love from our parents, love from your grandparents, from all these things. But as Christians, we do so much better because we get to understand the source of love, and that's God. 1 John 4, 7-11. It says, "Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. This is how God showed his love among us. He sent his one and only Son into the world that we might live through him. This is love, not that we loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son as an atoning sacrifice for our sins. Dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another." In the discussion a while ago, it just says, without love, everything is useless. 1 Corinthians 13, 1-3. "If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal." I think we can apply that today. If I speak in the tongues of men or angels but do not have love, I'm a phone without battery. I'm a car without gas. Same thing. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, I can get a 4.0 GPA. I can get a pay rise next week from my boss. But do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Your discipleship is defined by your ability to love others. Not to get busy, not to get the most money and give it to God, not to baptize as many people, not to live a happy life. But how much more can I love God and other people? Everything else is irrelevant. How can you argue about doctrine if you don't even love your parents? How can you argue about who is saved and who is not saved when you can't even understand God's love? The first century church boasted so much about their gifts and their talents. I could speak in tongues. I could speak in French. I could speak in Bahasa. Are you so focused on, and likewise, we can be so focused on our circumstances, our problems, and our struggles, that we forgot that it is all about loving God and loving people. Are you then consumed on learning how to love God the way He wants to be loved? To understand God, which is, all of our goals, we must be like Him, act like Him, and most importantly, love like Him. And so this is a series that I want to start. It's a love series. In 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it doesn't boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be still. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. What I want to start is, as we try to understand love in action, we must understand God. If God is love, then God is patient. Then God is kind. Then God does not envy. And that is the main thing we must strive to understand. So every week, that's something I want to preach about. This week is about patience. Thus, the title of the lesson. But next week, I'll talk about kindness. Next week, about not the opposite of envy, generous, and all these different things. The title of my lesson, The Pain of Patience. Point number 1, patience in perils. How can we learn to be patient when everything is falling apart? The word for patience in Greek is, sorry if anyone's Greek here, makrothumio. Hopefully some people speak Greek. Which means to exhibit internal and external control in a difficult situation. To delay action and the ability to be slow towards others, long-enduring, long-suffering, and to easily forbear with other people. We must understand that God is after the end game, not the start game. What does that mean? If you've ever played chess, for sure you know what chess is. Me and Finn were playing chess. I lost, obviously. And it's his first time playing. Yeah, that says a lot. I'm not really good. But when you play chess, you're focused at your troops. You can spend 30 minutes trying to make a move, going, okay, my people are here, I need to do this, he's doing that. You're calculating. But for chess, the better you are at chess means that you can see more turns ahead than the other opponent. And so you can be so focused about your next move, where the knight is going, all of these different things. But if your opponent can already think about how to checkmate you, or like the end game moves, you're dead. And in the same way, God is that person who looks from the end to the start. We look from the start to the end. That's why we have so many problems. We're all concerned about the here and now, the circumstance, the problems, the money, the challenges. What do you see when you look at your own life? When you look at your own situations, when you look at other people? If you have patience, you have vision. You need to understand that there is potential behind your problems. What does that mean? Proverbs 29:18 KJV. Where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. So we know this passage. I love to use this passage. It says, if you don't have vision, you'll perish. But the NIV, which sounds a little bit different, but also speaks the same, is also true. Where there is no revelation, people cast off restraint. But blessed is the one who heeds wisdom's instructions. When we lose vision, when we don't have revelation from God, when we don't understand what God wants for us and wants to do in our lives, we cast off restraint. What does that mean? And this is a very, I wouldn't say that. I lived here 8 years, and I see this quite often. Not sure if you could agree with me. People living day to day. It's about surviving. It's about the next paycheck. It's about focusing on what I want, what I can get, rather than what I can give other people. What can I get now versus what can I see in the future? To desire comfort now than desiring discomfort. And for most Christians, this is a common thing as well. How little I can do versus how much more I can do. My question for you is, what are you living by? Are you living by a vision, or are you living simply to see? It's very, very revealing as well. A couple of, we just had our Austro-China staff meeting. So Joe just gave us a lot of advice and everything. And he just goes, you need to have vision for Hong Kong, for Hong Kong you, for the people in your ministry. And that really cut me. I was like, wow. I think many times I'm just going to Bible talk, just going to evangelism, I'm just doing things. But I don't see what I'm doing this for. What I see, I think after repenting now, I was like, what do I really see in HKU? I want to build a community. I want to build a Bible talk filled with leaders. Every one of them can lead a Bible study. Every one of them can lead people to God without me intervening. I see a registered club on campus. I was putting on ChatGPT, how difficult is it to start a club? And it says, not that hard. I read it and I was like, it's actually not that hard. You gather people, you write a constitution, which we already technically have, edit it, find a treasurer, find a president, and everything is figured out. We just need the leaders. I want to see a community that wants to sharpen each other and wanting to grow. I'm really encouraged by the Bible, our Bible talk. I'm really excited that Finn was able to bring out one of his friends as student ambassador on Sunday, and she was really, really great. And I think midweek last week he just texted me, and it was really cheesy. I don't want to say cheesy. I was really moved by it. He goes, bro, I'm really encouraged by the training that you have. Appreciate everything. I was like, what training, bro? We haven't started yet. So our last D time, we just sat at the HK Daily behind CYM, and you just go, you say you want to be a good speaker, right? Let's watch your welcome. So we watched him do the same talk together, and we just go, okay, what do you think, bro? And I appreciate Ines, I'm really grateful that she, said the good news a while ago. But she was like, yeah, she was like, oh yeah, I have this really great friend that we bumped into that's really cool with doing Bible studies. Like, oh, what are we waiting for? You do the Bible study. But I don't know how to lead Bible study. Well, we're all disciples, right? We're all meant to learn anyways, right? Go for it. I still remember when I was in the Philippines, someone got baptized. 2 weeks later, he was like, guys, I did a Seeking God Bible study with my neighbor. I was like, the first time I led a Bible study was like a year after. I mean, props to a lot of people that want to step up. Even Alvin walking with Nathan, I'm like, go for it. My goal is to see everyone in the Bible talk having someone that wants to become a Christian. Each of them are growing and helping each other. That's the goal. For you to learn patience in life, you simply need to gain a vision. Because if you are not enjoying life, then why would you be patient for it? It's like if you go to a McDonald's and you order a really good meal, of course you will wait for it. Because you paid good food for that. I don't know. Speaking as a student, Or you go to a really expensive bar and you order a $300 katsu curry. And and you waited 30 minutes. You'll wait for an hour. You'll wait for an hour 30. Because you paid money. But in your life, if there's nothing to look forward to, why bother be patient? If you know the song Bee Gees, Staying Alive, Staying Alive, is that your theme song? Every time you go to the MTR going to work, Staying Alive, Staying Alive. That's a sad life to live with. If your only goal in life is to stay alive, why bother? When you're so focused on staying alive, you don't think about the great things you could do. I could help this person. I could do this. I could save money. I could do this for God. So let me ask you, what are you being patient for? There's this movie that I want to watch, but I know the story already. It's called Unbroken. And it's about an Olympic runner, Louis Zamperini. And I'm pretty sure Abhishek already shared the story. Essentially, in the 1940s, he went to compete with the games against Germany and won. But then soon after got enlisted to then go into the war. Soon after, he became a bombardier, went to the Pacific Ocean, and then he got captured and was sent to the Japanese prison. When he was in concentration camp, he saw every single one of his friends die, pass away, tortured. Even one of the prison guards tortured him to go, I want to break your spirit. All the other friends that he had, he goes, I'm going to survive. I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to get out of here in 2 days. Nothing happened. 3 days, nothing happened. Out of most of his friends, he's the only one that survived. Why? Because every single day he knew, I'm going to leave this place eventually. I'm going to leave. I want to go back to the racetrack. I want to compete again. I planned for this in my life. I want to do this in my house. I want to get married. I want to do this. He had vision for a life he didn't have yet. Even at the end of his captivity, he goes, I'm going to stay alive to survive so I can come back and I can forgive my captors. When the bomb came in Japan and the Japanese surrendered, that's what he did. He went on to live that same life. So my question for you is, what are you patient for? If there is something to be patient for. Point number 2, patience on your peers. 2 Peter 3 verse 8 to 9. But don't forget this one thing, dear friends. With the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day. The Lord is not slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness. Instead, he is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. God is more concerned with where you end up than where you currently are. It's very easy to get mad at people, get annoyed with people. He didn't do this. He said he was going to do this, but he didn't do this. Oh my gosh. I can't mentor him anymore. He's not worthy anymore. It's very easy for us to think that way. But yet we think this way because we don't really know where these people are going. But God is patient because he knows where these people are going. And he is willing to wait for them. He's willing to support them. And he's willing to guide them. Because that's what he does for all our lives. I was doing his Bible study yesterday. And he goes, I don't really believe in God and all these different things. I studied the course that I did well in my courses. And that's why I'm in HKU. And that's how you met me. I'm like, okay. For those in the Bible talk, they know who this guy is. Essentially, we went ice skating with him and all these different things. Me and Ines actually evangelized him. And when we evangelized him, he was really rude. And he goes, yeah, I'm interested. Okay, give me your number. I was like, okay. So he showed up at Bible talk the week after. I'm like, oh, okay, he's here. And he's super happy. He likes to talk to people, all these things. And so I asked him, like, everything okay that day? And he goes, yeah, all my courses actually got all the courses that I wanted didn't go through. That's why I was angry. All my friends in high school did not go to HKU, so I'm alone here. And I don't really believe in God. I think that's just chance. I'm like, okay. So the day I met you, if you did get your courses, you wouldn't want to speak to me. And he goes, yeah, that's true. If you went to the bathroom before going to MTR, you wouldn't have met me. Okay. Yeah, that's true. If all your friends are here in HKU, you wouldn't want to come to Bible discussion. Yeah, that's true. So who organized that? And he was quiet. But let's not forget how long God took you to get here. Come on, Nikkei, longest one so far. Yeah. But there are longer people. Some 3 years, actually. If you knew that this person or that person if you knew your colleague was going to be a Christian, if you knew your parents were going to be disciples, how much more care would you have taken to treat them differently, to pray for them, to encourage them, and to love them? God chose to overlook a lot of our things, a lot of our problems, because he had greater vision for us, for all of us. Patience is not overlooking a lot of things. A lot of people think, patience is just waiting. Patience is not just waiting. Patience includes discipline to direct people what to do and what not to do. Patience does include time to wait and see, but that doesn't mean you're doing nothing and waiting. Patience is not tolerance, letting people get away with it. Patience is simply walking with someone until they make it. Again, I want to lift up Joe, one of my mentors back in Australia. And this is something, honestly, I need to learn. If I am to learn to train other people, I need to learn how to walk with someone. Not tell them what to do and let them do it. That's not training. That's just homework. You don't gain that much knowledge from homework. When I was in Sydney, what he did with me was he shared with me. Now, this guy is like 60-something. It's very hard for him to walk. And yet he took 2 hours, 3 hours to walk, evangelize with me. Tell me what not to do, what to do during evangelism. So we evangelized this guy, and I was about to talk to the guy behind him. And he goes, no. Let's not talk to him. I was like, why not? I said, talk to everybody. He goes, how do you think that guy that we just talked to would feel if you talked to every single person? Oh, yeah, a bit weird, right? All of these things. The way he shares, he would go up to someone and goes, hey, do you study here? Yeah. Can I have the Wi-Fi password? Even though he has the Wi-Fi already. And he goes, oh yeah, I don't know either. Oh, that's okay. Oh yeah, we're just hosting but like small things like that. He had to walk with me to go through that. He sat down with me for an hour or 2 hours just to go through my sermon. He sat down with D times with me with other people, mentoring times. Even praying with him when he was walking his dog. Played games with him, and this is the reason why I love Risk. Is because he played Risk with me. And I won the first and second time. And I was like, yeah, I'm so good. Yeah, I beat Joe. Wow, I conquered him, his armies. And then I left to go to the bathroom, and then Carrie, his wife, is like, oh, you won? Congrats. You thought about why he let you win? And in that moment, I was like, oh, never mind. Okay. But that is what walking means. That is what patience means. Why would he want to spend that much time? Because he saw what I could be. And in the same way, that is what we must instill in our disciples, in our friends, in everybody. God sees so much more in you. That's why he's patient. In our walk with people, your patience is shown in how long and how willing you are to run after others. Luke 15:11-13. This is the story of the prodigal son. Jesus continued, there was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, Father, give me my share of the estate. So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. You keep going. In 17. He goes, when he came to his senses, he said, how many of my father's hired servants have food to spare? And here I am starving to death. I'll set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I've sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants. So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. And feel free to read that afterwards. We call it the parable of the prodigal son. And yet, for what it's worth, it needs to be the parable of the forgiving father. So it's not about the son, it's about what the father did. Now, imagine if you were the father. How could you have known your son was running towards you? Rather, the father most probably stood outside the door, waited and watched every single day, just to see if the son came back. And that is the same patience God, or even Christ, has shown us. In our fight to win others over for Christ, are we quick to dismiss people? Are we like that father? Yes, as much as we need to find worthy men that want to change now, we should never forget other people, forgo relationships that we have tirelessly worked on. Your ability to love people, especially when you're not texting them every day, shows a lot about who you are. How often do you get back the messages? That's for me. Better yet, how is your follow-up? Are you still in contact with the people you knew 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago? Better yet, it shouldn't even be called follow-up. It should just be called love. Do the people on your contact feel loved by you? We get so dutiful. Oh, I texted him yesterday. Good enough. Yeah. Did you love him? No, you didn't do your job. Are you more focused on winning a fight than finding friends? I learned that in PolyU. The reason why when I went to PolyU, amen, that was a history that I don't want to go back to. Essentially, I meet a lot of non-Christians, and at that spot that I meet people, I want to prove them, God is real, prove me wrong. That kind of feeling. Oh, but I don't believe in evidences. Do you have an engineering degree? Yeah, exactly. You don't. Listen to me. To the point that that's the reason why a lot of people didn't like me. We got some persecution, all these different things. But that changed. Okay, I went to HKU, and then I had to change a lot. But my heart is now not okay. I need to prove people right, but it's about how much more friends can I build. So my intention of meeting this person, what are your hobbies? What do you study? Memorize his face. Okay, if you're not interested, I'll see you next time. A year passed, he still remembers me. I'm like, who are you? That's on me. But my heart is, let's go after people. Let's remember faces. Let's remember countries. Let's remember who these people are. Because they might not remember you, but they might remember your act a year from now, 2 years from now. God is thinking about the long game here. What if he becomes a Christian 10 years later and you're in the other side of the world? That's still a glory to God. Are you limiting the friendships that you have? When was the last time someone invited you to their birthday party? That's not a disciple. When's the last time someone else called you? When was the last time someone else, a non-Christian, texted you? It says a lot about who you are as a person and as a friend. And point 3, just going to a landing. Patience in your personality. God's patience for us is more seen in our character more than anything else. Because at the end of the day, God is interested in how we die, as a Christian or non-Christian. That's it. And every single challenge and every single suffering you go through now contributes to who you are as a person. Will you make it at the end of the day? Hebrews 10:32-39. Remember those earlier days, after you've received the light, when you endured in a great conflict full of suffering. Sometimes you were publicly exposed to an insult and persecution. At other times you stood side by side with those who were so treated. You suffered along with those in prison and joyfully accepted the confiscation of your property, because you knew that you yourselves had better and lasting possessions. So don't throw away your confidence. It'll be richly rewarded. You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what he has promised. For in just a little while, he who is coming will come and will not delay. But my righteous one will live by faith. And I take no pleasure in the one who shrinks back. But we not belong to those who shrink back and are destroyed, but to those who have faith and are saved. Your patience through suffering molds your character to stay faithful. My question is, have you made headway in changing yourself? If you've been a disciple this long and haven't changed yourself, what have you been doing?
Let's go.
You can add extra time. You can add extra things to do as a Christian. You can sing extra songs. Do extra Bible studies. But have you changed your character? That's what matters. You're always looking to change your character. Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is. His good, pleasing, and perfect will. Too often we get so satisfied. I'm good enough. Right now I'm leading songs, I'm leading this. I'm pretty good. The way I dress, I dress better than most brothers. I dress better than most sisters. I don't know. I'm close to God enough. That's it. I'm all right. But the passage said here, the renewing of your heart. It says renew at all times. Is your heart renewed? When did you stop learning? I attached a photo. Essentially every month, Joe sends us a book for us to read and give a report. And I'm very grateful for this. Because this book, essentially, I do encourage you to read it. It's quite, it's real. It's very real. Essentially, he wants to change our character as leaders before we change everything else. Too often, we as a church, or even as people, we say, hey, things are not the way that it is because this person, that person, this. I learned as a church leader, I cannot change other things unless these other things change me. And after I've changed, then I can change everything else. So maybe the church grew last time. I don't know. But it won't grow if I didn't change. To grow a church from 10 to 20, it takes a different man. From 20 to 30, a different man. 30 to 40, a different person. And so, when Joe challenged me to read this book, I was like, okay, sure, I'll read this book. But in our staff meeting yesterday, he goes, what is one thing in your character that you need to get out? What's something that you need to change for your discipline to be better? And other people said, I have to watch less reels. I have to do all these. I have to wake up earlier, all these different things. And I thought about it. If I put a random, I would say, resolution, work out 3 times a day, sure. I will do it. But will my heart follow? And so I was praying about it. And then God was really able to help me. The one thing that I was able to, I'm really going after to change is hating comfort. Why is that? And what does that look like? Brothers, keep me accountable. When I was reading the book that Joe showed me, I came to realize how much I am very privileged. This guy, the really good-looking African American that you see, essentially lived 12, 13 years with abusive parents, holding a gun every single day of his life. He would finish class, go home, work at his dad's roller skate business, go to sleep at 1 a.m., then go to school at 6 a.m. every single day. This man saw his dad abuse his parents every single day. Eventually, they all ran away. They moved out, and they went to a different town. And everything seemed better. The mom was able to remarry and find someone else. Yet, a couple days later, the man was shot and killed. So every single respite, every single rest break he had, he was denied by life. What did that say about me? My understanding of life is, if I do hard work, I expect reward. I expect something for myself. Every time I do something, I get to scroll on my Instagram. I get something back. But life's not like that. You never get a break. You keep going because it's up to you, and as much as it is up to God. My resolution, and I bring it before you, I don't want to have easy pleasure. What does that look like? Okay, I was telling Nikki and the other guys, I will not listen to music. while I work. I will not go to YouTube. That means going on the MTR, not listening to any music at all. Doing my laundry in quiet, walking home, quiet. Why? Because every single day I think, I need to go on my phone to listen to music. Why? To fill the time. Jesus never got through that. Why do you get a break? You keep going. You work. Because it all depends on God. And so, please keep me accountable. The only time I want to use earphones is when I'm calling someone. That's it. Or watching documentaries, but that's it. And sermons. That's it. But in the same way, have we stopped learning? As disciples, have you reached a plateau in your life and your discipleship? The time of my lesson, very grim. The pain of patience. Patience, as you understand, is not just about waiting anymore. It's about how much more can you fight for other people and for how long. Point number 1, patience in peril. To go through life patient, motivated, and encouraged, you need to have a vision. Because what are you being patient for anyways? Point number 2, patience on your peers. Are you patient on them? Or do you easily get mad? Easily get frustrated? Easily moody? And point number 3, patience on your personality. As disciples, the personality in our character is one of the things that we have to keep humble. Always desiring to learn. And like the name, as disciples, we're called to change. With that, to God be glory.